Unclear scientific and medical writing is a serious problem. Many papers, proposals, and other technical documents are packed with complex language that is difficult to digest and that burdens readers with an unnecessary cognitive load. And a top contributor to that complex language and unclear writing is unnecessary long words. And in this video, I'm going to share how short words simplify scientific writing to boost clarity and enhance understanding without offending readers. And in case we haven't met, hello, my name is Crystal. I'm a trained biomedical scientist turned clinical researcher and now scientific and medical editor. Since 2011, I've helped researchers to publish in high-impact journals and secure federal and foundation funding. And I've trained thousands of researchers and other professional writers all over the world to equip them with the principles, resources, and systems that they need to write well and with intention. And when you want to write well with intention, you want to pay attention to your word length. Word length is a top driver of readability, or how easy and enjoyable something is to read. So if we look at research dating as far back as the 1930s, we know that long words are harder to read, they reduce understanding, and they take more time to read. We also know that short words are clear, they are direct, and they boost understanding. And that's why word length is a top factor in readability calculations, such as the Flesch-Kincaid grade level or the automated readability index. So to write more clearly, you want to use shorter words instead of longer words. For example, instead of using the word utilize, use the word use. Or instead of demonstrate, use show. Or instead of subsequent, use next. Or instead of investigate, use study. There are many examples of substitutions that you can make, and I will add a link to the description box that will take you to a cheat sheet of shorter substitutions that you can make for long words that are commonly found in scientific and medical writing. But a general guideline that you can follow is to aim for most words to have no more than 2 syllables. Now, you will likely need to use technical terms that are more than 2 syllables, such as phosphorylation or atrial fibrillation or high-performance liquid chromatography. What I suggest is targeting other words in your writing, and we'll look at some examples. But first, I want to address a common concern that I hear. And I have talked to many authors who are concerned that short, simple words will seem simplistic and that they will offend readers. But simple does not mean or even imply simplistic. Simple is clear and direct. Let's look at an example so that you can get a sense of how simple is clear and direct. Now, this example and the others that I will share with you were pulled from publications or my clients' work or other things that I've read. So, to protect the privacy of my clients and follow any copyright laws, I often modify the text to mask the source. But the structural issues or the word choices are kept intact. So, let's get to the example. This example reads, in this investigation, we demonstrated that reduced tau ameliorated neuroplasticity. This example has 3 words that we can replace with shorter words: investigation, demonstrated, and ameliorated. Now, if we gray out those words, you can see that the technical term neuroplasticity remains, and the sentence structure is the same. If we replace the longer words with shorter words, we get the following revision. In this study, we showed that reduced tau improved neuroplasticity. This sentence has the same structure and the same meaning, but uses shorter words and keeps the helpful technical term. So this version is simpler, but not simplistic, and readers will not be offended by this sentence. They will appreciate the clear, direct sentence that is easy to read and understand. Let's look at another example. This example reads, subsequently, we investigated whether the DNA mutation would facilitate improvements in protein function. In this example, the long words are subsequently, investigated, mutation, facilitate, and improvements. In this case, I would argue that mutation is an important technical term to keep, but we can make shorter substitutions with the other words to get the following. Next, we studied whether the DNA mutation would improve protein function. This version is clearer and more concise than the original. Now, substituting simple words is a great strategy to make your writing easy to read and understand. But sometimes the simpler word is not the best choice. Consider the following example. We utilized CRISPR to eliminate the gene mutation associated with hemophilia. In this example, the long words are utilized, eliminate, and associated. So we might simplify this sentence to, we used CRISPR to correct the gene mutation that causes hemophilia. This sentence uses shorter words that could be clearer, and in some cases, these words might be more accurate or precise. For example, use is more accurate than utilize. And I think utilize is the most misused word in scientific writing. And I discussed this in another video, and I will add a link to that video in the description box in case you want to check that out. So that change from utilize to use made the sentence more accurate and used a shorter word. However, another substitution had the opposite effect. Causes and associated with do not mean the same thing. And accuracy is more important than brevity. So depending on the meaning that you intend and that is most accurate, you might want to use associated with instead of causes. So in general, I recommend that you aim for most words to have no more than 2 syllables unless they are a technical term or they are a more accurate or precise word. Remember that accuracy and precision are more important than brevity. So short words are a powerful way to simplify scientific writing to boost clarity and enhance understanding without offending readers. And if you want to avoid a common phrase that could be perceived as manipulation, check out this video right here. And if there's something in particular that you'd like to learn more about, let me know in the comments. I create these videos for you, so I want to make sure that I'm creating something that you will find valuable. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next video.